Welcome to MetroCasting. I'm Doug Farley. In this episode, we're going to take a tour or two and break a leg along the way. Not literally, that's more of a theatrical term for good luck. Which brings us to our first stop, Benton. That's where a group of local theater enthusiasts have gotten together to say, hey kids, let's put on a show. The art of acting out a story on stage is a tradition that goes back for centuries, if not the origins of man. Each new generation brings a new crop of actors, writers, directors, and technicians all ready and willing to put on a show whenever and wherever possible. Meet the Fishing Creek Players of Benton, a local acting troupe responsible for the original play Damaged Trust, which aired here on MetroCast Channel 10 over the summer. Their band of merry men and women are led by M.R. Daniels, a local woman with a theater and education background. She says the director of Benton's Northern Columbia Cultural and Community Center suggested the idea of an original play.
Rob Hutchinson, the director of the community center, asked me if I would do a play since I'd had experience doing it here at the high school and, of course, in my background. And he said, could you find a play that has to do with the Civil War, where there really aren't any short plays that have to do with the Civil War. So I decided to write one. And I wrote The Dividing Line, which was performed last year, and was met with such success, and the cast had such a good time that they decided they didn't want it to end there. So we all got together and said, let's form Fishing Creek Players and continue doing this, have performances. And we thought, oh, what fun. You know, it's sort of like my uncle has a barn and I've got a spotlight and let's do it. Well, it turns out that Benton High School has a near perfect stage with a wonderful fly system and a lot of great equipment. And they've been very generous in letting us use it. So we have a really professional venue for our presentations.
And although no one else in the Fishing Creek Players considers themselves a professional, you wouldn't know it from their demeanors and passion.
This is something very new for me. This is only my second theatrical experience.
Well, since you're new to this, why did you decide you wanted to get involved in this? What gave you the courage to do this, I guess?
Well, for the first time, I've always seen theater. You know, I was a pit director for high school shows. I directed the pit here, and I've always watched it and thought, I could do that. And now I am.
Yeah, you can. That's good. Geraldine?
Yes.
Is this your first time acting?
No.
Tell me about your experiences over the years then.
Well, over the years. Back in high school, I was in the junior and senior plays, which I enjoyed. And I hadn't done anything for years until I worked in Gallup, New Mexico for 16 years at the Gallup Indian Medical Center. And when I retired from there, I worked 2.5 days a week at Little Sisters of the Poor Assisted Living, and they were having their Christmas show written by one of the people that work at the Little Sisters, and it was Scroogina, and they asked me to play Scroogina, and I had more fun. And then when we started this last summer, I thought, well, I'm going to try it. I enjoyed it, but Rumors I absolutely loved. I was in that. So I'm still here. I'm the old one of the company.
But you enjoy it. This is kind of in your blood whether you know it or not,
Well,
right?
yeah, evidently I'm a, what do I say? What are they?
You're a diehard. Well,
I guess. I don't know any better, maybe. I don't know. I'm having so much fun.
For others, it's fun and a change of pace from day-to-day obligations.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's fun. We're used to the musicals.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get away from that every once in a while.
It's a good perspective. When I'm out at school, I'm a business major. You know, it's a lot of number crunching and everything, so it's nice to come home for the summer and gain a new perspective.
Now, you were involved in the play last year as well. Tell me about being a volunteer for this. Why are you giving up your summer if you're going to school for business? You're giving up a summer here to do another play.
Well, I mean, I'm home anyways. I didn't have a job out at school. I work as a bank teller around here, but so I just had extra time, and it was better than sitting around the house. So I might as well come out and help out my friends and everything.
Yeah, and I work from 6 to about 12:30 every day, and there's absolutely nothing after that. So I guess this just fills my time. It's something to do.
Yeah.
What is it about theater that you like so much?
I think portraying someone else is kind of neat, and being able to try to do so in the best way possible to make the entire show a success is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just like starting at the beginning, and you just get a group of people together who are who they normally are, and then over the weeks they kind of take on new personas, and along the way everyone helps each other build the sets. They walk up the cat lights, do the lights, and it's a pretty complex process that ties together pretty nicely in the end. It's always good to see the end result.
Yeah, the progress as you go through the weeks of the production is always great to see. Like we haven't had this set the whole time, and we were using scripts earlier, and then as you get more comfortable, more emotion comes out while you're acting, so that's kind of neat to see how the characters come out of the script.
Of course, everything stage, film, or broadcast related begins with the written word. MR says writing 2 plays in 2 years took a lot of research and time.
Basically what I did was I thought about the story and got as much information as I could about the Fishing Creek Confederacy, which that event was known as much background, had a really good researcher, George Turner, who advised me in a lot of the truth of the incident. And what I started thinking about was not the incident itself, because there's been a lot written about it actually, but about the people in the town and the people whose fathers or husbands or brothers were torn away from them and taken away. And it reminded me a lot of the Japanese internment, incidents that have happened, slavery. I mean, the incidents that have happened throughout history where men, soldiers, war, whatever, were taken from their homes and taken away. And the fact that that was done locally was really interesting to me. So I started thinking about how that affected the people who were left behind, what they thought of it. And that's what I tried to depict in the play. After a while, the characters kind of have a life of their own, And even though I started out intending something to happen to one, their character developed in a way that wouldn't happen, so I'd have to change it a little bit. And eventually it came out to be what it was.
And then there's the technical aspect of putting on a live stage play. Lighting, audio, directing the actors, and more. Brandon Hartman was in charge of that for the Damaged Trust performance.
Overall, it's been a pretty interesting experience. First time directing. I've technical directed a few, but this is the first time actually taking the reins on one. So,
what's the most difficult part of directing?
You have to do everything. It's just trying to keep track of everything. I've learned just to write everything down because I'm not going to remember it if I don't.
What is it about theater that gets your blood up?
It's just interesting. I really don't know what to say about it. People ask, I had the one student ask me why it's so important that we go over these notes and do everything perfectly. And the only thing I could think was, you watch a movie and they can do it over and over and over. And in theater, you got one shot to get it right, and that's it.
Tell me about the people that you're acting with and working with here.
All the people here are very nice. They're fun to be around. They're fun to talk to.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's very rewarding. It's there's something magical about theater. I mean, anybody who's been to the theater knows that. There's just something about, as far as acting goes, becoming a character that you aren't. The other thing about it, and why I've always enjoyed teaching it, I've worked with a lot of schools in my past, a lot of high school kids particularly, is that it's a truly collaborative event. It's not, there are no stars in the theater. You think, oh, you've got a big name and it's a star. That star wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the technicians behind them and the props people doing their job and the supporting actors and the makeup and the lighting, whatever. And if one person, just one person, doesn't do his or her job right, it can affect the entire show. It can deaden the entire show. And I mean, it's even more so than, say, a football game. A football player breaks an ankle, you bring in another football player. We can't do that in the theater. Yeah, they have understudies. We don't have understudies. We don't have enough cast to have understudies, but I always tell my cast at rehearsals, if one of you misses a rehearsal, it ruins the whole rehearsal for everybody because we don't know where you stand, we don't know where you move. So everybody learns to depend on each other. And by the end of a production, it's amazing to see the camaraderie and the close-knit friendships that have happened through that production. And everyone comes out of it with kind of a feeling of family about it. And that's been what's so rewarding to me, is seeing that closeness that develops between people.
A great group of people, the Fishing Creek Players. Now, you can find out about their current and future productions by going onto the Northern Columbia Cultural and Community Center's website, which is n4cs.org. Their shows, original or not, are well worth your time.